Hey friends, I just wanted to share one of my particularly favorite ways to practice for the IELTS speaking exam. A lot of you use the IELTS books to practice, which is great because you get a different range of questions, but I like to use sites like ExamWord, and there are other different sites and blogs that have more recent questions. These are questions that other students have gone to exams and have taken and kind of like been like, oh, this is what I was asked about, and these websites kind of recreate the format for you. And the reason why I prefer this over, let's say, studying from the IELTS books is exam questions tend to be recycled for speaking. And that's not true for the other parts of the exam, but for the IELTS speaking, the exam questions tend to be recycled. So not only do you get good practice, but you also get a chance of actually practicing question you might get on your real exam. So, like I said, one of my favorites. I am not affiliated with them in any way. This is just examword.com. Here's the link. I could put it into the description, and they have all three parts. And like you would start with, for example, part one. Do you live in a house or a flat? You could say something like, I live in a flat in the center of the city. It's a 3-room flat. It's one room is for my parents, one room is for me and my brother, and we have one room for the guests. That's usually also the same room where we watch TV. And my answer was actually longer than what you need to do. You might give them a shorter answer. Usually 1 or 2 sentence answer in part 1 is fine. And let's do another question from here before we take a look at some other parts of the IELTS speaking exam. How long have you lived here? So I'm just going to give you a sample answer. I have lived here since I was born. Yep. I think my parents have moved in here a few years before I was born. That's when they got married. And they brought me here from the hospital, and I have grown up here since. Most of my friends are actually from the same neighborhood. Yeah. So you could do that as a sample answer, and they have a ton of different topics. Obviously, you could see when people have reported seeing these questions. So, for example, right now we're August 24th. This was seen August 1st of this year. There are websites that even tell you which locations they have been seen on, but you don't have to worry so much. Just as long as you're getting practice from the more recent questions, you'll be doing fine. So like, do you like ice cream? You could go the yes answer, like, oh, I really, really like ice cream, especially on a hot summer day. I find it to be a perfect dessert to just cool me down, and I enjoyed the different flavors. My favorite flavor happens to be chocolate, but if I'm offered vanilla or strawberry ice cream, I won't refuse. Or you could go the other way. You could say, oh no, I really hate ice cream. I despise it because I don't like the creamy flavor. I also think that sometimes it's just too cold and it makes my teeth hurt. Again, there is no correct answer here. They're just seeing how you can respond to these questions. And I also enjoy looking at part 2 and part 3. Oop, there's an advertisement. Part 2 and part 3. So here's a part 2, for example, and again it shows you when these were asked recently. So describe a piece of clothing you wear most often. You should say what it is, how often you wear it, what it is like, and explain why you enjoy wearing it. Now, as a reminder for those of you that are still in the early phases of studying for the IELTS speaking exam, you will be given this question on a piece of paper, and then you will be given 1 minute just to prepare your answer. Now, it's a terrible idea to try to write out what you're going to say because you don't have enough time in 1 minute to write out what you're going to speak for 2 minutes, because the speaking time that they give you later is 1 to 2 minutes. A good idea here, in my opinion, is to write down some good vocabulary words to include in this type of answer. So, for example, piece of clothing you wear most often, you might write down the word like wardrobe, closet, attire, different type of materials like cotton, silk, You can, a gown, matching an outfit, fashion. Whatever words relate to the topic, just write them down and try to use them, because this might be a place to kind of plug in some of those words that you've been studying for so far. And you might give yourself like a quick outline of what you might speak about. And I'll just give you like a quick sample answer here. Definitely an item of clothing that I wear very often is my hat. I wear it sometimes even indoors when there's no need to wear a hat. I wear it in hot weather and in cold weather. And really, the reason why I enjoy wearing it often is because I think it makes me look fashionable and trendy. It's a hat that I purchased about 6 months ago, but I've had hats before that. I've just had different trends and different styles of hats that I've worn, and I would say, other than dinner to with my parents, I probably would wear it at any time. I almost feel like when I don't have my hat, I'm missing something so part of me. I almost feel naked without it. It's a black hat with the New York Yankees logo right on the top of the hat. The back of the hat has an adjustable band, so I can make it a little bit looser if I'm feeling a little bit hot, or tighten it up if I'm running somewhere. I don't want it to fall off. And I think that ever since I was a child, I liked wearing hats, and I've always received nice compliments about how hats fit me, and it just became a pattern of the way that I just dress. Almost all of my outfits have a matching hat. This just happens to be the hat that I choose to wear the most often. And of course, this is just a sample answer. If you go through these, you could practice. And I encourage, grabbing a friend or grabbing a teacher and like practicing with them, almost like a challenge. You could challenge each other to speak, like who can speak for 2 minutes, who could get to that 2-minute mark. Remember, it's better to try to speak for that full 2 minutes. As long as you're not repeating yourself, you're not hurting yourself, right? So as long as you're not saying the same thing over and over again, and you're speaking for that 2 minutes, you're actually helping yourself, because this is the only part where the examiner can check, is the student capable of speaking at length? Because remember, a lot of you are taking this exam because you're getting into university, and the IELTS wants to check, hey, can this person get up in front of the class and give a short presentation about something, right? We don't want to tell the university, hey, this is a band 7 speaker, and all the speaker can do is just speak in 1 or 2 sentences. We want to see, can they speak at length? So this will definitely be in your favor if you could speak for 2 minutes. And now, of course, where would we be without part 3? Whatever topic you will have for part 2, you will have a related part 3. So we spoke about clothing here. So here are some sample part 3 questions. Now, friendly reminder, part 3 is different from part 1 because part 1 is just basic information. They're checking, can this person just give us facts about things. Part 3, they're looking, can this person have a discussion? So at least some of the questions will pull for your opinion. And you'll have to express your opinion and maybe back up your opinion. So let's take a look at some of these questions. When do people wear formal clothes? So you can definitely talk about people where you come from. So you could say, in my country, it's quite important to wear formal clothes to any government celebration. So if you are invited to a government celebration, let's say you are receiving an award for something that you did for your country, then it's important to wear formal clothes. Another occasion that I can think of is a wedding. At least traditional weddings, they would require you to wear formal clothing, and there isn't like a clothing police that will stop you, but people will maybe look at you in a judgmental way. So let's take a look at another question. That might be the last question for today. Let's see. Do you think students like to wear uniforms? Now, this is a perfect example of what part 3 is about. They want you to speak your... They don't care what side you take, whether you think students should wear uniforms or should not wear uniforms. They don't care about your opinion. They're just checking, do you have the language to support your opinion? So you could say, I really don't think uniforms are a good idea. I believe that everybody is an individual, and they should be given the right to express themselves. Some people do it through their words, some people do it through their clothing. And if you force somebody to wear a uniform, you're essentially cutting off a way that they could express themselves. I stand strongly against uniforms. In my school, they've tried to make us wear uniforms. Myself and my friends, we've always protested it. We even got our parents involved, and they came to the school. They spoke to the headmaster of the school, and thankfully so far there have been no uniforms. I don't think people who wear uniforms by choice are a problem. That's their their way of expressing themselves. But I personally wouldn't like it if somebody forced me to wear a uniform. Again, they don't care whether you wear uniforms, don't wear uniforms, what you think. They just care, does this candidate have enough language, enough English to back up their opinion? Anyway, I hope this has been a helpful tip, and good luck with your studies. Bye.